Hello and welcome to this conference. I hope this content is helpful for you, for your colleagues, for your classmates, and for everyone who wants to be involved in this conference. So let's start. First of all, I want you to raise your hand if you consider that organizing your time is not that difficult for you. If you consider that you can balance your home life with your school projects, your job projects, and everything you plan to do. If you couldn't raise your hand because you are too busy right now sending an email to your boss or planning what to prepare for dinner or sending a homework, I understand. And hopefully this content will help you to organize yourselves better now that we are studying and working from home. So let's get started. How to organize your time when you work or study from home. My name is Marcela Diaz. Let's start. First of all, we have life before versus life now. We already know, right? I don't need to put this into context. I consider that we already know how this goes. We used to go to the places to study or to work as it was established, right? And now we only click on a link, we join a Zoom session, and we are already working or studying from home. But my point is that all these things that we have to do for school or for our jobs, mix it up with all the chores at home and all elements in our life, it can end up in a chaos if we don't manage our time correctly. Let's learn more about this with the next slide. Okay, so why should I organize my time? There we have four factors that we need to take into account when we are starting to organize our time better, sorry. First, we have improved punctuality. Okay, but now that we are not moving from one place to another, we may think that we don't need to consider this, but we need to consider the fact that sometimes we have to send a homework or present a project on a specific date or on a specific time. And if we don't organize ourselves, we may end up like rushing or running out of time when we have to present these projects. Well, if we organize ourselves better, we may have better results. Then we have better. Then we have more productivity. When we organize ourselves better, we find more time to do the things. We find more time for ourselves, find time for spending time with our relatives, or find time to present our projects on time and with better quality, as I was saying before. Then we have reduces stress and anxiety. When we are running out of time and we may feel stressed and anxious, we start having issues with our health, like presenting headaches or backaches, and we can reduce all these elements from our life or stop this by organizing ourselves better. Let's continue. Now we present the other face of the coin, right? The consequences of not being organized. We have decreasing productivity, lower performance, procrastination, and also it can even be bad for your physical and mental health. Why decreasing productivity? We spend more time thinking what to do next rather than moving on from our duties or from our chores or assignments, etc. Lower performance, of course, if we start doing a homework, for example, when it's just an hour before the platform closes, for example, we will think more about sending the homework rather than thinking of what we are doing or presenting a quality work. And of course, our grades will be lower or our performance will be lower, as I was saying before. Then we have procrastination. Procrastination is our eternal enemy, right? I'll do it later, I'll do it later, and we never do it. We end up only doing for example, wasting our time, but we don't do what we were saying we will do later. And that, of course, start like we start feeling like we don't do our best, and that decreases our physical and mental health. Next slide. Now we have tips that may help you to reduce all these elements that we were discussing, the bad ones, right? First, we have plot your schedule, designate spaces, set boundaries that work for you, treat free time like work meetings, minimize social media distractions, and dress up formal. Now let's go deeper into each of them. First, we have plot your schedule. Writing it down makes it easier to follow. It doesn't matter if you just put it into a piece of paper hanging on the refrigerator, or maybe you will be more a technological person and you will find out apps like Google Calendar or Time Tree. If you are one of those persons that say that you will maybe forget to check what you wrote, there are apps that can remind you what to do on a specific date or time. But the thing is that when you have something into paper or something to remind you, you'll be more likely to remember what to do, right? So this is the first tip. Now let's move on to the second one. Then we have designate spaces. Choose separate rooms or areas around the house and designate the expectations for each. For example, the desk you set up in your bedroom is only for work, or the living room is only for leisure time, and the kitchen table is only for meals and kids' schoolwork time. When we work from our bedrooms, for example, and we are working on our bed, we will feel more sleepy rather than feeling active for our school projects or the homework that we are doing. We will feel like we want to sleep and we don't want to continue doing the homework. That's something that we need to stop doing. We need to find an area, for example, if you don't have a desk, move to the table at the kitchen and you can work from there. It will be easier for you to feel engaged with what you are doing. And of course, if you're working at the living room, if you have the Netflix account right, just a click ahead to watch a movie, we will have a distraction to deal with. And I think that that's our next point to cover. Now we have minimized social media distractions. It's okay to take a break, but when we are spending time on our social media, we are distracting too much of what we are actually doing, that is our homework or job projects, for example. And if we distract too much with this, we will never end what we are actually doing. And what we can do is to remove these apps from our desktop and to hide them while we are working, like to block them or to log out while we are working, so then we don't fall, right? So let's continue. Now we have the last one, and it's like playing with our minds, right? Dress like you're going to the office. Don't just use don't just wear a pair of sweats every day. Don't just wear your baggy pants or your pajamas. This may not seem like you are managing, like you are not working. This may feel like you're just having your normal time, your normal days, and you won't feel like you're actually working. This is like, I said that it's like playing with your mind, because when we dress up formal, we feel that we are in a working area or a scholar area, and we may have that Then we have dress like you're going to the office. This is like playing with your minds. We don't have to just wear a pair of sweats or a pair of baggy pants or pajamas. We just dress up like we are going to the office or like we are going to college because this make feel like we are actually going, and this is like we are programming our bodies to work or to study as we normally did in the past. Will help you get in a frame of mind to focus on your work projects, and when you're focused you manage your time more effectively, as it says on this slide. And when we manage our time more effectively, we feel like doing it. We feel like working, like studying, and like finishing or the projects that we have ahead. Now let's move on. Well, we got to the end of the presentation. I hope you will apply all these tips and that you will improve at your organizational skills soon. Bye.